Hi, it's Linda with CreativePLR.com, and what I'm doing today is I'm playing in Midjourney. I was in the mood to create some digital paper. I always do that when I want to de-stress, and yesterday was my last day of work, so I kind of wanted to relax, make some digital paper, but Midjourney doesn't make digital paper well. It does make it, and there are some techniques you can use to improve what you get. So I got this idea to use a tile or a square of a pattern, and then I can take it over to Photoshop or Photopea and create that all over pattern with just that one square. And so you can see that I've been experimenting with different kinds of patterns and colors. I started with a simple Scandinavian folk art tile, which I do love. Don't love the colors. It does say beautiful colors. This may be great for a fall look, but not something that I want. But I really do like the pattern. And so I'm going to change this, and I'm going to say, instead of beautiful colors, I'm going to say, how about vintage pastel? Now, if you get more orange, I'm not going to be happy, but I'll live with that. And so you can see I'm getting one square. Now, part of the trick of this is, and there are a couple of things that we have to think about. This square, and I'm not going to upscale it because I want a small square. I want, depending on how many repeats you want, my paper is going to be 12 inches square. So I either want a 3-inch square or a 4-inch square. If you get a 6-inch square, you're just going to have 4 of these. It's a really big pattern. That's what you're going for, a big bold pattern on a digital paper. That's what you need to do. I usually like a 3-inch or 4-inch repeating pattern. And so this is, as it sits now, is I think a 3.41 inch square. That's 1024 pixels. And so we're going to have to scale it down a little bit in Photopea, but I'll show you how to do that. I also tried simple blue porcelain tile pattern, beautiful colors, and I got that. This I really like this. Like this, you can see that actually is a porcelain tile or for a pattern. Did it again, wanted to see it again. I changed the colors to vibrant pink and purple. It was a little bright for me, but I do like this one, and I like the pattern in that. So I blew those up. Tried simple tile patterns again with watercolor, aqua, and purple colors. Like this one really well. Liked all of them. Liked all the colors, but I really like this one. And then I tried it again with watercolor, aqua, and purple, and fell in love with this pattern. And then I saw this one, and now I'm even more in love. Oh, wow, that one took my breath away. This one's great as well. So I downloaded those. Now, I said vintage pastel colors. I did get pastel colors, and we could argue about, are they vintage and they're lighter? We could call them pastel, but that's not what I was going for. I should have said vintage pastel pinks and greens or something, but they are great patterns. So I'm going to go ahead and blow that one up and save it. And I actually like this one as well. I like them all. I might as well go ahead and blow them all up. Now, you'll notice the first time I did that, I got a pattern that looked more like this, but without the florals. This time I got more floral, and so maybe the vintage gave me more floral patterns. Okay, so we've got enough examples. We can go over to Photopea now, and in Photopea you'll see I've been experimenting. And so what I did was, the first thing I did was I went up here to File and I said New, and I made 4 inches by 4 inches, 300 dpi, and I want a transparent background. And so I got that one called Tile. And then I created another one called Background. I want this one 12 inches by 12 inches, 300 dpi, and transparent. And there's my background. And so I'm going to put my tile one right here. And so what we're going to do is we're going to load one of those papers. We're going to open and place. And let's try this one first. Now I'm going to check. I go over and look at the image site, and it says it's 4 inches by 4 inches. 4 inches by 4 inches in pixel would be 1200 pixels. So I want to save this as a PNG, and it says 1200 pixels. And then I'm going to go to my background, and I'm going to say open in place, and I'm going to go up to my desktop where I've saved, and it's called Tile 2. And you can see that here's our little tile, and it's on my 12 by 12 inch. But I'm going to take it down just a little bit because look here, the settings, that 4-inch tile is really a little bit larger. I'm going to put it about in the middle, and I am going to go over to filter and go down to other, click repeat, and look, you've got your paper. Now, this box that pops up, if you said, that's pattern's a little small for me, so you can do this and you can make that pattern larger. The other thing you can do, and when we made our pattern, it has this little offset look. It's not just a row of these, it's a row of these as well. But if you said, I'd like to shift the rows a little bit, you could shift them. Now, because they're flowers, that doesn't really look that good. But if you had a pattern that was more abstract, that would work just fine. And I'm going to put them back where they belong. So you could try moving these, the X and the Y space. If you wanted to make a paper that's separated by a solid color, you can do that. But I don't suggest doing that. Do the same thing up and down if you wanted bands of color. Now, if you kept going, that would make a great background paper where you just have a pattern on the top and the bottom. And I kind of like the look of that, but I'm going to put it back to where it was because I don't want anything to change that. I'm going to click on File, export as PNG, and I'm going to call this 3600, and I'm going to call this 13. I like to number my papers when I'm making them. So if I want to do a pack of 12, I can mix and match, and that's what these are all set up for. So I've got my papers all set up, ready to go, and I'm going to make a whole pack. Let's do that one more time. Here is my simple tile pattern. I am going to export as a PNG. Now this time, what it did is it made it 1024, and we know we don't want that. We want it 900. That's 3 inches. And so I'm going to save that as blue tile. And I'm going to go over to one of these backgrounds, and I'm going to say open and place. And this time I'm looking for that. And I'm going to place it about in the middle, and it says right there is about in the middle. And if I go up and down, no, it just says right there. And so I'm going to click OK, and I'm going to go over to filter, say filter, repeat, and now I get that beautiful file looking, which makes a beautiful paper. And I'm going to say file, export as, and that's number 1. And I always double check that it's 3600 pixels and the quality is a 100%. I hope that you enjoyed this, and you're going to start making some paper with both Midjourney and Photopea, or any other, like Photoshop. Affinity would do the same thing. Photopea is free, and so I like to use it for everything. And it makes this wonderful paper, and it makes it pretty easy. I've already made 3, and I am going to make a few more. Subscribe to the channel if you like this. There's going to be more tips coming, and I hope to see you again soon. Until then, keep creating.